Well, I'd say welcome back. It's been a couple of times now I've done this. I am back, and I've done a lot of self-reflection in the last several years, actually. I started my YouTube journey and making videos and, really kind of trying to help as much as I can. Back in 2015, roughly. And it started off with my name, it's Chad Broshears. But it was all about just going through different ways of seeing things and different perspectives. And I did that for a little while, and then I stopped for a little while because life happened, and it became kind of like a silent audience, and not realizing who's out there and really how the engagement's working, and if it's making a difference really. So, and then having things else or other things in my life kind of pulled me away from it. And I've realized that there's other reasons for it, like rejection, insecurities that come in, and things like that. So I just keep getting reminded by people in my life that they really love the deep, and dynamic conversations that we have. And I hear in my absence people that miss listening to these videos. So now I'm coming back with a different commitment. I see so much in this world that if we just had the proper guidance and the direction, we could do so much better, right? Like we develop in a way that we have less stress in our life, and things are more fluid, or people are more capable and independent, and I have to just put this whole thing together in a way that makes it work and makes it consumable. So I've done the just insightful conversations from my first channel. Then I did the growing up in the wilds of suburbia, which is this channel, and it was very specific and a big part of what I'm up to and my legacy, if you will, something I want to leave the world to potentially make it a better place. And then I went into politics for a period of time, just kind of playing around with a friend of mine, doing a lot of research and just realizing that, there's just people are deceived for specific reasons, and it's not for the benefit of the people that are being deceived, obviously. And then so I went down that trail for a little while and learned what I learned and developed as I did. Now I'm at a different place, and I'm not really looking for the political concepts as much, although I'll highlight some things on this, on just identifying, the people that are deceiving, how they do it, and, like what their motives are likely, things like that. But from the behavioral values, not like as if there's some sort of, disgusting itinerary or idea, not an itinerary, but whatever, an itinerary of thoughts maybe, but just to take advantage of people and people that are power hungry. So I'm not going to get caught up on that as much. But what I am going to do is go back into this and just speak about maturity. And we've termed it the Maturity Project, as it's geared towards 8 different areas of human maturity that help us navigate life in a way that we can make it work, right? And we can make it work better and better with every step. Most of us aren't aware that you can develop in every single aspect of your life. The majority of us feel abandoned in our emotions, and then we have to have some sort of feral set of emotions that we've developed while fending off other people's needs and wants while we try to gain our own. That can be viewed by the simplicity of, 2 people excited about each other and each other's lives in a dating situation, and they're just fired up and happy because they seem like they're aligning on a lot of the things that they need and want in life, or what they feel like they should be experiencing, and they line up initially, and then it drifts over time into something different, and then then it's now they're getting their little fights to try to bring the other person into their position, almost like a submission into their position, things like that. And it's that's where you get a lot of that disruption in relationships, where they're fighting over something that they had common ground on before. So you develop, right? Emotionally, that's quite possibly the most challenging area, just simply because there's so little guidance. A lot of books written on it, but it's a lot of times it's how to avoid what you've gone through, or naively push through it with some sort of, optimistic outcome that has no structural value on truly being able to accomplish it. So I will not be doing therapy in this series at all. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, a mental health coach, anything like that. I'm none of those things. I just have had a very different view of the way things are, or the way that people behave, my entire life. I've always been in the inquiry of behavior. My earliest memories has always been that. And it's just a different way that I think. It's not a better, it's not a worse or anything. It's just me sharing the perspective that life has given me. I will not be telling people how to live their life in this series either. The reason for that is because there's too many variables that I won't know in order to give any kind of direction. And it's not my job to give direction. It's not what I'm here for anyway. Now, if you decide you like my philosophy of life and the way that I perceive things and the way that I navigate life, then I can speak to you about what's right and wrong based in that reality and that perspective of life. But I won't do it from yours. I can't. It just wouldn't do you justice, right? There's so many variables at play that are so much further from the surface that it's really challenging to give really good insights or direction. You give insights all you want, but giving advice is kind of different, right? There's just a lot of challenges with it. If you don't know what the person's attachments are, if you don't know what their goal is, if you don't know the rationale behind it, what led to that rationale by their structure, by how they've been developed in their foundation, if you don't know simple things like, let's say an example would be, okay, well, people want to be rich, right? The majority of people want to be rich. Well, what number is that? How much money? So many people can't tell you. They'll just come up with a number top of their head, either some outlandish number or whatever, right? And then, yes, and the difference between rich and wealthy. Now, most people can't tell you that without looking it up. Now, that's just an easy example. Another one would be define love. Everyone seems to be looking for love or want their partners to love them. But as soon as I ask what a person's definition of love is, I'm typically met with deer in the headlights, if you will, or a blank look, or a pondering look, which is sometimes questioning why I even asked the question, because it seems so simple what love is. But then there's well, can you put it in words? Could you put it in a definition that you would perceive being written in the dictionary to teach another person what love is? And that's where it clicks for most people. They want that feeling of love, but they don't even really know what it is necessarily. So if you give people dating advice and you don't know what their definition of love is or what they want of that relationship, you could be creating harm because you're coming from your perspectives and you're coming from what you perceive their perspectives to be sometimes, but not truly where they actually are. So with that, that's why I won't be telling people or giving them advice on what to do with themselves, as much as getting curious and trying to understand where they're at, and then say, hey, if I were in your situation, but that would be based off these different criteria, then this is what I would do. But I can only speak from my own real reality and the place that I can understand like life or existence in. So with that, I'm not going to be telling people how to live exactly. A lot of people come up with this crap, right? This is how you do everything. Well, I work in business. I've been a consultant now for many years as a strategist. I'm actually pretty good at what I do. And that's because I take a different approach to like business. No one business runs the same as any other. Though now there are definitely formula values that are, consistent. But it's not a cookie cutter or copy, of a thing. It just doesn't work that way. So you have to customize. And that's one of the reasons why I've been as successful as I am with business consulting and strategies, is because I customize the majority of what I do. Now, Now, with that being said, it's the same for people. So if you have people that want to have specific experiences, well, you know, there's a lot of ways to do it. And that's not really, if you go by a carbon copy direction, like we'll do it like this, everybody does it. Sure, there's always going to be a specific criteria to accomplishing something. But that does not mean that it's carbon copy identical on every aspect. You know, business is business. You have to come up with your distinctions, for profit or non-profit. You know, you need to understand those things, and then you have your structures that are common in between, or with those, and then the variables that make them different, including who works for them, what kind of personalities they have, and what kind of culture do they create. You know, the direction of what they consider successful to be, all these things. So what I'm doing with this is to bring out all 8 areas of maturity and then turn that into something more consumable to make a bigger impact for people. So when it comes to this, I'm talking from my life. I'm talking from the things that I have done that have helped me become to the level of success that I have and become. You know, and this is in 8 different areas. It's not just in finance, it's not just in business, but it's 6 more areas. Then I will be sharing how they're connected and things like that, because that's what the Maturity Project is all about. Now, I have brought on a partner in this. She will be creating a lot of insights as well and supporting on the back end as well as on the front, how this all works, and then what we can do to try to make the world a little better, you know, a little different, better that we have been there. I live this because I got this from my grandfather, Buelis. That was my grandfather on my mother's side. He used to, when he would come down to visit us in Florida, while he was there, he didn't like to sit and watch TV. He would grab trash bags and he would go out to the roadside and he'd pick up trash, and he'd walk up and down this highway picking up trash. And here I am, a kid, not really understanding what's going on. And I'm like, why does Grandpa do that? And my mom's like, well, he just likes doing it. Now as a man, I understand what he was doing. And I understand why he was doing it. And I understand the benefits of it to the point that I do it myself. He never told me to do it. No one actually told me to do this, but I do that as well. I'll pick up trash. I'll go walk for things. When I'm in public restrooms, I'll make the place a little bit more tidy, pick trash up off the floor, things like that. If it's something outside of the scope of what I'm able to do, because I'm not going to be the employee in the bathroom, if you will, but I'll definitely tidy things up. I've taken 10 minutes or more to tidy up a restroom, just simply because it's better that I had been there. So with that, that's the way that I do a lot of things. And I catch myself every time I try to take a shortcut or to say, you know what, I don't need to do that right now. And I'm like, Chad, that's not your integrity. Your integrity is to be greater than that. Your integrity is to hold true. You are out to make a greater difference in life that you had been there. So the world needs this. My son needs this. The people that I don't know need this, and the people that I do know need it. And I put that on myself to do it. So whenever I feel like I don't want to do something, I do it. So moving forward, you're going to see, you'll be exposed to a lot of this. You can always comment in the comments section. I obviously will engage. I'll have guests and things like that as I have the opportunities for it. But this is to help get this out of the world that I live in and into the entirety of the world. It is the one I live in and we all live in, but I'd like to share that to hopefully give people more opportunities to achieve things in life that don't have me telling them exactly how to do it, but to help them understand how to learn how to do it. Because that's what this whole thing is about with the Maturity Project. It's how do you mature in each area, and then you do it the way that you need to. So, all right, well, thank you for checking in, and I'm glad to be back. I'm looking forward to this. You'll see a lot of the car recordings just because of my commute right now, and it'll likely be this way for a while. So I plan on creating content for that, okay? I will talk to you soon. We're all out to make a difference, so like Gandhi said, let's be the change we want to see in the world, but let's do it with some structure and strategy, okay? All right, till next time, Chad Everett Broshears, and I will catch you on the flip side.